Hi everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. I'm Judy Tuttle and I am here with my weekly online class to go. I can't wait for you to see what I'm going to make tonight. I'm using the Nested Friends bundle, which is this adorable bird nest branch set, but I love the fonts in this, and you're going to be amazed at what we can do with this. It comes with this beautiful set of dies that not only gives you a detailed nest, but also cuts out the stamped nest that's on the front page. You also get a bird, a whole bunch of leaves, and the outline of the branch as well. We are going to make some beautiful cards, 2 fun fold cards, and one just really simple, easy thank you card. So I hope you will enjoy it. When you pop in, would you please let me know that you're here, and then I can talk to you while I'm doing my cards and we can interact. That will be fun. If you're wondering why my video looks different, I can't really explain it other than the fact that it would not for the life of me let me turn it sideways tonight. Who knows? Been doing it the same way forever, and tonight it decided, nope, I'm not going to let you do it that way. So we're going to be vertical. I hope that's okay. I think it's all going to work out fine. I'm not going to stress over it. So don't you stress over it either. So when you start watching, would you let me know that you're here and where you're from? And I'm going to talk to you just a quick second about how my online classes work, and then we'll get to watching. Okay, so you will get a card kit to make 6 cards, 2 each of the 3 designs that I make tonight. I will send you this kit in the mail if you place a $35 in my online store or email me with a $35 order or more by Friday. Okay, so $35 is the minimum. If you place a $50 order, you'll still get the kit, but you will also get added an embellishment package, and you will get a free celebration because we're in the middle of celebration right now. So what you need to do if you want to shop online by yourself is go to the TuttleUpShop.com. It's important that you use this host code XAZFNE7Q. And that way I know that you want the online kit to go, okay? So I hope you guys had a great weekend and that you enjoyed watching the Super Bowl last night. Since the Dallas Cowboys did not make the Super Bowl, we were rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs, mainly because my son-in-law is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. So it was fun. It was a fun game. It was a great game. Everyone should be proud of themselves. Everybody played great. But I was glad that Kansas City came out ahead. Okay. Cleone Richardson, you are the winner of the cards that I made last week. If you remember, I made the cards using the farm, on the farm suite. So I made these last week, and this getting vertical is it's going to be hard to get used to. Okay, so this one and this one. So Cleone Richardson, I don't think I know your mailing address. So, thank you, Roz. So if you will send me your address, I will get these sent out to you in the mail this week. All right. Hi, Renee. Thanks for joining me. So those get sent to people who comment and love and share my video with others, so that the word of what I do every Monday night at 7 o'clock gets out there to the world. So I so appreciate you watching and commenting and saying such sweet things to me. You are the heart of what I do. So, okay, I am going to go ahead Well, one more thing. If you want to know what's going on in my Tuttle Up world, like classes to go, PDFs that you can buy, you need to be a part of my newsletter. After this video is over, if you'll go back to the home page and just scroll down a little bit, just last week I added a link to my page that you can click on to start getting my newsletter. So I would love for you guys to start doing that. Okay, so I have 3 cards for you tonight that are all made with 2 important products, okay? The Nested Friends stamp set and dies, and I'm also using the Fitting Florets dies because I'm using these beautiful frames that are a part of this die set, the Fitting Florets. And then my designer series paper is this fancy Flora paper. This is just beautiful, beautiful paper. Okay, let's see if I can scroll and let you see some of the beautiful watercolor painting designs. So pretty. So we're going to use this in collaboration with the Nested Friends, and I think you're gonna love my cards. Okay, so let me see if I can get my camera going down here. Okay, so if I do that, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to test this just a little bit here. If I do this, all right, I lost you on my screen, which made me nervous. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, right there. I just have a smaller area to work in, but we're going to deal with it. Okay, so my first card, in fact, I might even flip it back around. Is that better for you? That way, I think I can go like this and not be, yes, I can go like this and not be upside down. Okay, so the first card we're going to make is a really pretty, simple thank you card. The designer series paper really does all the work on this, doesn't it? It's just stinking gorgeous. I just love it. This one has some soft succulents, got a little orchid oasis, some Calypso coral, some petal pink. We're going to use all of those colors tonight on our bird and our card. So I've got things marked for you here. So first of all, you need 2 pieces of soft succulent. You need a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5 scored down the middle at 4 1/4. That's our card base. And then you need a little strip that's 1/2 inch by about 3.5 inches. We're going to cut that down, okay? You need, out of petal pink, a 2 3/4 inch scallop circle. I just used my circle dies on that. It's the 2 3/4 inch, and I cut that out of petal pink. From basic white, you need a 4 by 5 1/4 panel. This is going to go on the inside of our card. You need a scrap that is 3/4 inch by about 3 or 4 inches. And then a stitched circle from our stylish shape dies that is 2.5 inch in diameter. All right. Then what's left is DSP. You need 2 pieces, and all I did is cut this one to 4 by 5 1/4, and then the piece that was left over at the bottom, I just cut off a piece that was 3/4 inch by 4 inch, okay? So this is all the pieces that you need. And so while you're looking at those measurements, I'm going to put this aside and we are going to get started. Okay, you're backwards. So let me try one more thing here. There we go. Hooray. You know, give me enough time, I'll get it right. All right, so we're going to start with our piece of soft succulent here. And I'm going to get a bone folder and really fold that well along that edge right there. And I'm going to add my panel that's 4 by 5 1/4 of my, look how pretty that is. Isn't that just so pretty? I just love it. Okay, and even the back side, that soft succulent on the back is pretty too. Looks like a paint palette. There we go. So this last weekend was my Galentine's retreat. I kind of told you I went with some friends to a lake, and we had a great time. Very relaxing. So fun to spend time with girlfriends, isn't it? Okay, and then here's my white panel that is also cut 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm just going to add this little piece of Designer Series paper to the bottom to bring the outside into the inside. You guys know I love to do this. It's kind of my MO. And then that still gives me plenty of room to write on the inside of my card. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the inside. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Alice. I appreciate that. We are beautiful today. It was beautiful. It was like 60 degrees, but I understand we have some winter weather coming in the next couple of days. Even some thunder snows, thunder rain. It's going to change. It's all going to change. Okay, so now I have my piece of basic white right here, my stitch circle. And on this, I'm going to stamp. I'm going to bring out my silicone mat here. I'm going to stamp my branch with Memento black ink. Oh, good. Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad Alice shared so you could find me. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this branch right here along the bottom of my circle. And, of course, I totally messed that up. Look, I caught an edge, and it's going to matter. So for the sake of this time, I'm just going to flip it over, try again, and it won't have the best stitched edge, but better than that shadow showing. Okay, I was just pressing too hard. Okay, so there's my branch, and then this branch I'm going to color with soft suede that's light and crumb cake. Soft suede and crumb cake. So I'm going to start with my dark crumb cake. When I did dark soft suede, I just felt like it looked a little too dark, I think. So I'm just using my dark crumb cake here to add some shadows. Okay. And then I'm going to go over that with some light soft suede. And I'm using blends. Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based markers that really help things to blend together. The colors blend together well, allow you to have some shadows and dimension to your color that you wouldn't get with just regular markers. Okay, there we go. Then my leaves, I might go a little more out on my leaves here, are going to be, there we go, Old Olive. And I'm going to start with my light. I love our markers too, Alice. They are so pretty. They just really add a beautiful dimension of color that we would not be able to get normally. And I think, I don't know, maybe some of you disagree with me. I think they really last a long time because I use mine in classes, and I feel like they really last a bit. I'm going to add a little bit of the darker green right where those shadows there. See what I'm talking about? It allows you to do things like that. And every set comes in a light and in a dark. Okay, so This branch is going to go directly on this circle. And look, I got a little smudge right there. Let me see if I can find, oh, it's right here, lucky for me. I had a little black ink on my hand and I smudged it right there in my circle. But I have found that these mono sand erasers do wonders to get ink off of spots where you don't want it. Okay. There we go. All right, that's good. I'm going to attach this to my pink circle. Right there. Okay, and then this will be popped up right here in the center. I am making a mess with this. I must have gotten a knuckle or a finger or something in that black, but I can't seem to see where it is. So sorry about that. That's okay. Recommend you having one of these erasers on hand. All right, so this is going to get popped up right here in the center with some dimensionals. How do you guys feel about birds? Honestly, I feel like I really like birds on paper. I really like birds when they're not flying around me. They kind of make me nervous when they're flying around me. Does anybody else feel that way? I don't know why. I think when I was young, it's because when I was young and that movie that came out that was called The Birds. Do you guys remember that? It scared the crud out of me. And I don't think I ever recovered from that. Okay, so there's the bird stamped in Memento Black ink. And this one, I am coloring in some Pool Party and some Petal Pink. So the bird itself, it's going to be a really light blue bird. I'm doing the light all over. Can you hear that squeaking? That's how you know your blends are getting ready to, when they start squeaking, you kind of know it might be time to buy some new blends. Okay. There we go. I'm going to add just some little touches of the darker on the tips of some of those feathers, maybe in the shadow a little bit right there along the edge. There we go. All right. Then my inside is going to be Petal Pink. Just going to avoid that eye. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then some more right along that edge right there of the darker. Be right there around the neck. And then on all of my birds tonight, I used a dark or light Cajun Craze for its little beak. I did that on all my birds. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my bird die right here, and I'm going to run it over here to my big shot. It's right behind me. I don't think I'm going to pull it on camera, but I'm just going to run that through super quick. Here we go. Sorry, I dropped it. There we go. Okay. I cut my bird out. And then I'm just going to pop my bird up right on that branch right there. Isn't that pretty? maybe going off a little bit off the edge, right like that. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals. And there it is, right underneath. And I'm just going to pop that up. Right there on my branch. This is just a really super sweet, simple card. And then I have my 3/4 of an inch by 3-inch white. And I love the font on this, thank you. And I'm going to stamp it in. Yeah, I think I never really recovered that. So when I'm in a close space with like some birds, it really does kind of freak me out. I'm not going to lie. Okay, there's my thank you. It might be a little crooked. We're going to do it again on this other side. Pull it a little closer to me here. Here we go. Much better. Okay, so what I'm doing with this is I'm using our new Happy Labels die, and I'm going to cut a length off the end here. There we go. I'm going to use my Happy Labels die, and there are 2 different edges you can get with the Happy Labels die. Punch. You can get a scalloped edge, and you can get like a ticket edge. For this one, I want the scalloped edge, so I'm just going to slide that right into my punch right here and punch the edge. There we go. Really simple and cute. All right, now this soft succulent piece, I'm going to have it coming behind here and just tucking out from underneath, so that it just adds a little color and almost like a little flag coming out from underneath. So I'm going to chop that off a little bit. I'm going to put my little flag. This is a 1/2 inch wide piece of paper that is soft succulent, and I'm going to feed that through. Here we go. I'm going to punch an edge off of that, and that's going to mimic that edge on that white panel right there. Okay. I'm going to adhere this to the back. Right in the center. Like that. And it's just going to give a little flag coming off the edge there. And then this is going to get popped up right here on the bottom. Like having birds as decorations in my house. There's something weird about that, right? Like, as long as they don't move and don't fly over my head, I'm okay with them. There we go. There's my thank you. Isn't that font super pretty? Now, I'm going to take my pastel sequins here, and I'm going to attach them. And I liked these pink, blue ones for this one. So I'm going to pick them up. These are our pastel sequins, adhesive back sequins. And I'm just going to add a couple, 2 or 3 up here by my bird. Where, maybe right here? I don't like them so much in a row. Okay, so I'm going to go right there. And then I'm going to put one down here on my label, right there. There we go. And there's my card. There's card number 1. Super sweet and simple. It's easier when you don't stick your knuckle in the black ink and get it on your card, but that's okay. Okay, so that's card number 1. Let me know what you think about that. Isn't it just pretty? Super sweet, simple. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, my next card is a little more entailed. It is going to be just a flip fold card, and I used that Fitting Florets frame underneath it. This time I'm using the nest that we stamp. I'm also using the branch, and I'm using the same birthday wishes. I'm using all of these things. So let me tell you what my measurements are here. Let me get all these other ones out of the way. Always good to clean up a little bit between projects. All right. Okay, so I am using this beautiful piece of Orchid Oasis paper that is in that paper pack. Let me show it to you as a full piece. I really had a hard time deciding how to cut it to fit my paper because it is really so pretty. Nope. It is this one right here. Is that right? I feel like there's... Nope, that's right. Nope, it isn't. This one has more Orchid Oasis in it. Okay. Anyway, I pre-cut everything for us. It is this one right here. So pretty. All those soft succulents, that Orchid Oasis, that's mostly Orchid Oasis, right? A little flirty flamingo in there. So that is the piece of paper I used on this card. Okay, so you want a piece of Orchid Oasis that is 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. Oh, and scored at, let's write that down. Scored at 4 inches. Scored at 4 inches. Okay. Then we have a piece of DSP, and this is what I did. I cut it 4 by 5 1/4. So it was cut like this, 4 by 5 1/4. And then I cut 1 1/2 inches off the bottom. Okay, 1 1/2 inches off the bottom. So the DSP is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, then cut 1 1/2 inches off the bottom. All right. Then I stamped another bird. I'm going to go ahead and put that over there. From the Fitting Florets, I die cut this oval frame, and I saved the inside of it for my next card, and I'll show you that in a second. Then I also cut this frame that has the, looks like a mirror. It has the little notched edges all the way around it. And then I also cut a 1 1/4 inch stitched circle, okay? And then I have 2 pieces of basic white that are 4 by 5 1/4. One I'm going to use on the inside of my card, and one I'm going to use to stamp my images on, okay? All right, so that is all we need. So I'm going to start with my Orchid Oasis base, 4 1/4 by 9 1/2, and then scored at 4. And then I'm going to take my DSP that is cut 4 by 5 1/4 and 1 1/2 inches cut off the bottom. And I am going to attach this piece to the top part of my card here, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, Alice. Yes, please come back and watch me later. I'm going to attach this DSP to the front panel right here. I'm going to attach this one to the bottom edge and flush with the edge of my inside panel. This was 4 by 5 1/4. I'm attaching this piece that is 1 1/2 by 4. Yep. Right like that. Then I'm going to take this entire panel and attach it to the inside here. right like that. So when this shuts, you see how it covers up that bottom edge right there. All right, then I've got my fitting florets frames, and I'm going to attach this to the front, but avoid this bottom part right here. But before I do that, I'm going to take this frame and attach it to the top of this frame. And it's just barely needs a little bit of glue around that edge. And I would suggest that you use liquid glue for this. And just, I mean to tell you, just as little as you can get on that edge. And I use these 4 pieces right here and just a tiny, tiny bit. Like, you don't want it oozing out, but you do want this to add just a little bit of dimension there to the inside of that frame. So lay it on. There we go. Right like that. Then this frame we're going to attach to this card, and keep in mind that we don't want it on the bottom edge here. Okay, we don't want it to hang glued to the inside flap at all. So there I go, just a little around that edge. I'm going to attach it to the front right like that. It's going to hang over, but hopefully there's no glue that's attaching to the inside edge there. And I'm going to take a block for just a second and just set it on top so it adheres very well. Okay. Hi, Dana. Thanks for watching tonight. I'm glad you joined us. Okay, so now I've got this circle still. We're going to come back to that. I've got another piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp on this my branch. And this time that shadow right there isn't going to matter because we're going to die cut that out. So I'm not going to stress over that. I might need to trim that rubber just a little bit, right? So that won't happen more. I'm going to stamp my bird's nest right there. And then I'm going to stamp a bird over here. Okay. Now my bird's nest, I thought mine looked a little dark in this picture, so I'm going to go with crumb cake. Let's see here. Dark and light crumb cake. Here's the light. I'm going to start with the light. And I'm just going to color the whole thing as much as I can, close to the edges, with this light crumb cake, kind of avoiding all those leaves that are in there. I like to use like a circular motion here. Okay, and then to get up in these little branches, I'm going to use the pointy tip and just kind of outline them like I'm drawing over them. Okay. All right. Then to add a little dimension, I'm just going to go in and every once in a while add the dark crumb cake kind of around like shadows, and then a little more on the inside right here. And I'm going to lighten the whole thing up again with my light crumb cake. All right, there's my nest. I'll call it good. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my old olive, use my light and my dark, and all of these leaves are going to be colored with the light and then a few shadows with the dark. I probably should have done my branch at the same time down here, but it's okay. I'm just going to go over each of those leaves really quickly. This is where I wish I could fast forward. Oh, okay, leaves, here we go. But I do think it's good for you to see the process too. So I don't like to do too much ahead of time. All right, I think I've got them all. There's a little bit one there. And these little berries at the very tip, I touched them with this Orchid Oasis here, just to bring those berries, the purple in, okay? And this is light. I'm going to go ahead and take this light Orchid Oasis and do my bird over here. So I decided this bird was going to be a purple bird. I don't know if I've ever seen a purple bird. Well, maybe I have, like a parakeet or something. I mean, I realize this isn't a parakeet, but I bet there are purple birds out there in the world somewhere, right? Orchid Oasis. I love this color. Okay. And then the inside of the bird is Flirty Flamingo. Is that what this is? Light Calypso Coral. Okay. Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to start with the light. Just going to bring all those colors from the paper together with the bird. I'm going to add a little Flirty Flamingo along the edge here and above around its head. And then I'm going to go over it with the light again in a circular motion and kind of blend it all together. There we go. And then I'm going to add, let me get around there a little bit, that Cajun Craze for his beak. And then Purple Martine. Purple Martins, you're right. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to use my light crumb cake on my branch here. What is this? Light, dark crumb cake. Okay, I want my light crumb cake. Let me grab that. I would have put some dark in there in a minute anyway, but I want to start with the light. Are you guys fast blenders or slow blenders? I would call myself a pretty fast blender, but a lot of my customers go very lightly when they blend. I am a get her done kind of person, so I like to, you know, not worry about it too much and just add that dimension in there. Just go over that one more time with some light. It's not going to show all that much. Actually, the leaves are going to show more than the branch itself. Okay. I'm going to add some old olive to the leaves here. Boop. Then once I get all this cut out, you guys, it's going to lay right on top of that frame, and it is going to look beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to get my dies. And I have my bird. I've already got a piece of Post-it note tape on it. There we go. I've got my look how this frames that nest just so perfectly there. And I like to match up those holes where those berries are. That kind of tells me I have everything lined up the way it should be. And I'm going to tape that down over here. And then my branch right here. And I like to use Post-it note tape. You know, some people use slow. Yes. Yeah, I know. I just, I guess I don't worry too much about it being so, but I get it. I think it takes practice for sure. Okay, I'm going to pull this behind me. My Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is right behind me here, and I'm going to roll that through. Bring it back on camera. And there's my nest, my bird, and my branch. Aren't those pretty? And then the only thing I have left to do is stamp Happy Birthday in my circle. I'm going to move all these over here to the other side. And I'm going to do that in Orchid Oasis. And it says Birthday Wishes. So I'm going to ink this up in Orchid Oasis. Stamp that in the center of my circle right here. Beautiful. And now all I have to do is layer this on. Okay, so my branch, let me get that out of the way. Let me get my blends out of the way. Give me some more workspace here since I can't turn horizontal tonight. My Facebook would not let me turn horizontal tonight. I don't know what the deal is that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on my branch right here and attach it to the bottom edge right here of the card. Okay, my nest is going to go flat right on top of that. Is it flat? Let me look. Nope, it has dimensionals. Okay, so let's put dimensionals behind my nest. Thanks, Chelsea. Post-it tape, boo-boo tape. That's funny. That's cute, Dana. All right, so I've got my nest. I'm going to put it on top of my branch here. Right like that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then my bird is going to land right on top of that nest. There you go. I'm sorry. Yes, for some reason tonight, who knows what Facebook does to like drive my life crazy. I could not get the screen to turn horizontally. I did it the same way I've done it for years and years, and tonight it said, nope, I'm not going to let you do that. So this is the view we get tonight, Sue, unfortunately. Okay, so happy birthday wishes are right there. Now, all I'm going to do, that's basically our card. See, it flips open like this. Isn't that pretty? We're going to add some gems, and I'm going to add the pink gems this time. I wanted to pull the pink out of the paper and the bird. So I'm going to put a large one down here, a small one down there beside it, and then another small one up here inside the frame. There we go. What do you think? Isn't that beautiful? I love this card. I love the Orchid Oasis on that. Thanks, guys. Okay, one more card to go. Stick with me. It'll be worth the wait. It's kind of an interesting fun fold. I saw one similar to it on Pinterest and then decided to just give it a go. I didn't have any measurements, so I just did my own thing. So here we go. Our last card is using the Calypso Coral and the Soft Succulent. Now, it did not say Soft Succulent was in this paper, but when I put the yellows up against this one right here, I just felt like the Soft Succulent matched it better. So this is how this one works. Isn't that pretty? That's using that detailed nest. And then we're going to open it like this. Oh, that was my Post-it note that I did when I was taking pictures to hold everything down. So it opens like this, and then it opens like that, and that is where you would write your little message. Isn't that pretty? I really love this card too. Okay, so what do you need? You need the white oval that was the inside of this frame right here. So when I cut that frame out, this one, the larger one, it left this oval from the inside, and it's so nice because it has that stitched edge. So we saved that from this card right here. I have, let me pull this out, a piece of Calypso coral that's cut 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. So we end up with a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now what I'm going to do with the front of this is cut the front at a diagonal. So I want to cut it from this scored corner to the opposite corner. Okay, so I've got my, here we go. This is the front. I'm cutting from my score line to the opposite corner, and I'm just going to lay it in here. I'm going to put that score tip right in that channel and pivot this until the tip of the opposite side is in that corner. And I'm going to cut the card at a diagonal, right like that. And so that gives me that diagonal cut in the front. Okay, we're just going to save that for another rainy day. I'm not going to put this away though, because I have a piece of designer series paper that is cut 4 by 4. Okay, it's cut 4 by 4, and I'm going to cut it on the diagonal as well, right there. This paper is so pretty, isn't it? Okay. Any other diagonals that I need to cut? I don't think so. I think that's all I need to do. Okay, so one of these, this piece right here is going to go on the bottom triangle right here that I just formed, okay? And I'm going to use liquid glue because I want to have a little bit, thank you guys. I love it too. I'm glad you love it. That makes my heart happy. This one is going to go right there, okay? Right in that corner right there. Grab my bone folder. I feel like this needs just a little more oomph on that fold. Okay, there we go. Now for the inside, I have some basic white pieces. We're going to use, well, go ahead, cut your basic white 4 by 4, 3 inches by 3 1/4, and 1/2 inch by 3. We're going to put the 3 inch by 3 1/4 and 1/2 inch by 3 aside. This piece is 4 by 4. We're going to attach it to the inside. There we go. I don't know. It's hard to choose your favorite this time, I think. Okay, so this is the other half of that, and I'm going to attach it right on top of that 4 by 4 on the inside, and it's going to go end to end, edge to edge, okay? Okay. And again, I'm using that liquid glue, so I have a little bit of time to get this all straight on my paper. There we go. There's the inside of my card. Okay, outside, inside, outside, inside. Okay, now, what do I want to do next? Okay, next, I have a piece of So Saffron that is cut 3 1/4 by 7. 3 1/4 by 7. Oops, there's some in my leaves. And then I scored it at 3 1/2. So the finished side is 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. I cut it 3 1/4 by 7, scored it at 3 1/2. Okay. So this is the piece that's going to form that front panel right here on the inside of our card. All right. So I have a piece of designer series paper. Here it is. This piece is cut 3 inches by 3 1/4, and it is one of the opposite sides of that designer series paper, but it had all petal pink in it. I thought it coordinated really well with this paper, right? So I'm going to attach this to the front of my card. My soft, So Saffron panel here. Okay. I have a white piece that will go on the inside right here. Same size, 3 by 3 1/4, but it's going to go on the inside. Right there. Okay. And then I can attach this to the inside of my card, and all I'm going to worry about is the back here. I'm going to attach the back part to the inside of my card. And I found that if I just centered it, right like that, everything fits together very nicely. See that? Isn't that cool? All right. Next, I have my oval here that I got from the inside of my fitting florets, and I'm going to brush some Pool Party ink with my blending brush over the top of the oval to make it look a little bit more like sky. Okay, so I'm going to go off the edge, come into the card, just give me some nice, soft, fluffy sky at the top of that oval, right like that. Okay, I'm really getting into these blending brushes lately. I love the effect that it gives. All right, now I've pre-cut some things, and I want to tell you what you need scraps of. You need scraps of white for the bird, soft seafoam for these little leaves here. Talk about those in a second. A soft suede solid for the solid nest. So I went ahead and cut these out. This is the solid nest, and look at all the dimension and detail that's on that nest. You could use that just the way it is, but this time I also decided to cut out a detailed piece from crumb cake. Okay, so you just need some scraps to cut those pieces out. All right, and I'm going to move these leaves. Now, the cool thing about this die set, let me show this to you, is they give you a ton of these little leaf die. So each one of these has 3 leaves on it. So I just cut them all out of the soft seafoam and just have them over here waiting for me. I probably won't even use as many as I cut. All right. So I'm going to add my nest detail to the top of my nest solid. Okay. I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. Now, it probably isn't a good idea in this case, even though you wish it was, to use that adhesive back sheets for this, because a lot of these twigs kind of hang off the edge. So look, I'm just adding a few dots here, okay, all over that. And then I'm gonna, do you see how these twigs, these other twigs hang off? And if you use that adhesive sheet, that is gonna stick to everything you don't want it to, okay? So I'm gonna take my bird's nest here, and I'm just gonna set it. Isn't that fun? I love the detail of that. Okay, I'm gonna put solid glue on the back of this, attach it right there. There we go. I have a piece of basic white that is 1/2 by 3 inches. And on this, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, always thinking of you. And I'm going to stamp that in Calypso Coral. Oh, I did it upside down, but look, it worked. Lucky me. All right, and then I took this and cut it at an angle. It could have been centered a little bit better, but you know what? The person who gets this card is going to be so in awe of this bird, they're not even going to think about it. Okay, so this is going to attach right here underneath our oval. Okay, right like that. And I think I'm going to do this solid right there in the center. Always thinking of you. There we go. These little leaves here, I just took each one of them, so much detail on these, and I just put a tiny dot of glue on the tip and just tucked them in places I wanted to fill with leaves, okay? I think I used 5 pairs on this nest, but you could use more or less, whatever floats your boat, okay? Isn't that pretty how that just tucks in there? I love the look of this. Add a little more down here. I should have gotten my tweezers out. I'm gonna put a little more right there. It will stay. Here we go. There's another. Tuck it in right there. And maybe one more over here on this side, up here. So we have an odd number. Tuck it in right there. Pretty. Isn't that pretty with those leaves tucked in there? I really like that. I think that's fun. All right. So I've already stamped another bird here. And this one, I wanted it to look a lot like a robin. So I'm using my crumb cake blends. Okay, here we go. Light crumb cake, dark crumb cake. And this time I used my Calypso Coral because I wanted it to look a little more like a robin, okay? And I thought red wouldn't really go with this very much, so I'm using my light crumb cake here for my robin. So you can get this card kit to make 6 of these cards. This week is my online class to go with a $35 order in my online store. Using the host code that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'll also post it in the description if Facebook will let me. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of the dark crumb cake just on the tips of the wings here. Around a little bit. I don't want it too dark. Go over that a little bit with the light. Kind of blend it all together. I'm going to go back and use my Cajun Craze for the beak. There we go. And my Calypso Coral for the robin's breast. Lighten it up a little bit with some petal pink. I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my die cutting machine, cut my bird really quickly here, and then we will attach all of this to our card front, and we will be good to go. I'm ready for spring. I don't know about you guys, but I am not a wintertime person. Okay, here's my robin. Isn't that pretty? So love it. Okay, so let's pop the robin up. I really like those leaves tucking out from underneath that nest. I think it's super pretty. And then I only have one thing left to do. Well, two, I guess. I'm going to attach this. Isn't that pretty? I like it. I like it. I hope you like it. I keep saying that. I shouldn't be gushing over my own card, but I do really like it. Okay, so I'm going to take my oval and put some dimensionals on the back. Okay. And then add some gold sequins. And we will be good to go on this card for tonight. So 3 cards, 3 card designs. You will get 6 cards in your kit for a $30 order. And it will be shipped to you. If you spend $50, I thought it was cute to put like one of these sequins in the nest. I liked that idea. And then a couple of the little ones up here. This robin sparkles. Okay, there we go. That's card number 3. Let me know how you like that. And then I'll lay them out and we'll see if you can choose a favorite. I had a hard time choosing a favorite. So let me get things kind of cleaned up here. My blends, all my sticky notes put away. You also get a PDF of all the instructions. So you can do it at home by reading. Some people like to read instructions. Some people like to just watch the PDF, the video, and go from there. Whatever floats your boat. So this was card number 3. This was card number 2. And this was card number 1. Hi, Mary. There's card number 1. So, Mary says 3. Does anybody else have a vote of which is their favorite? I do love them all. They all look a tiny bit different. Different color scheme. This is very soft. This is very bold. And this is like more detailed and in between, right? So, looks like Mary's the only one brave enough to vote at this point. So, if you come on later or watch it on replay, let me know which one you like the most. And this is what your kit will make for you. 2 of each of these cards. Now, obviously, I can't die cut birds or nests or branches, okay? Or the nest. I die cut shapes. I die cut labels. These shapes, the fitting floral shapes, I'll die cut. But if you want the dies, you should probably order those for the bird's nest, okay? Dana says 3 as well. Judy says she loves them all. That's so sweet. Okay, so I'm a little off camera here, aren't I? Because I have such a skinny view. Wouldn't it be nice if the camera made me look skinny? That would be nice as well. Okay, I'm going to lift my camera up. I'm going to flip everything around. I'm back. Thank you guys so much for watching me tonight. I love coming here. Now, next Monday, I will be in Texas for President's Day, so there will not be a Facebook Live next Monday night. I'll be sure and post that on my page so that you remember that. But if you would like these beautiful cards to come to you in a kit, then I need you to place a $35 order in my online store, and I will get this kit shipped to you. If you spend $50, I throw in the pastel adhesive gems for you as well. So, and you get a celebration item. So, God bless everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm always so humbled that you're willing to spend your time with me. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.